So it appears that CNN is completely supporting Kamala Harris. They've chosen who they are backing. It's clear at this point. And they actually dropped a buyout of sorts on Kamala Harris. Just pro-Kamala ads all over the place. And they haven't done this for any other candidate. And I'll show you the clip a little later. But the clip is full of nothing but cliches. No policies, nothing of substance. And the issue is that these things work. Right? People actually fall for these cliches that these politicians speak on. Hillary Clinton ran strongly on things like that. And in this clip you're going to see, she's not talking about policy at all. So for us political junkies, we see this and we get annoyed. And we want to speak on it. And we sort of, crack down on these politicians that don't present us with policies. But for some Americans, these things work. Like these little segments, this little segment that CNN's going to drop, it works. I'm not going to name names, but there's people in my family that, these kind of ads, these kind of buy-ups work on. And it's so cheesy, it's so corny. Like literally, when I'm watching the buy-up, they're like, well, Kamala did this when she was younger for me. And I'm like, I don't care. Literally, I caught myself throughout the whole video saying, I don't care. I really don't care about that. I don't care. That means nothing. I don't care. What's your record looking like? Like, I don't care that you were a nice kid. I don't care you defended someone from a bully. I don't, none of those things mean anything. To me personally, when your record is abysmal. And after the video, bear with the video, it's kind of long. It was like 11 minutes. I'm going to shorten it for you just so you get the gist of what it's about. But I found myself annoyed. And it's clear CNN is, pushing Kamala Harris. It's their Hillary 2.0. Right? Biden's got a lot of skeletons in the closet. Right? He opens his mouth and he loses support every time he opens his mouth. So I don't think they're putting all their eggs in one basket. But most of the eggs they have is in Kamala Harris's basket. And you'll never see them do something like this with Bernie. You'll never see them do something like this with Tulsi Gabbard. And you know what? You probably won't see them do something like this with Elizabeth Warren. So, yeah, CNN is 100% behind Kamala Harris. That is who they're going to push. And they think she has a chance against Donald Trump. I don't. Do I think she will fight him on that stage? Do I think she's going to stay shut, and just be bombarded? No. But what she may come off looking like is an angry black woman. What she may come out looking like is somebody who isn't used to shooting off the cuff. And you can't gauge how well she fights against Trump by taking the fight she had, or the argument, or the back and forth that she had against Handsy Joe Biden, because he's easy, he's lightweight, he's light work. So I would expect nothing else, and I wish somebody like Bernie would be a little more aggressive. But Biden's light work. Trump is a whole another ball game. So here's the clip that. Here's a clip from the biopsy CNN presented, and we'll come back and I'll tell you what they don't tell you in the clip, and you make your choice after that.
The thing about predators you should know is that they prey on the vulnerable. They prey on those who they do not believe are strong. Predators are cowards. Predators are cowards.
I think you've watched her sort of evolution of being the chief prosecutor.
So I need to be correct as best I can.
I do want you to be honest.
And I'm not able to be rushed this fast. It makes me nervous.
This is who she is. She's been trained to get the truth out of folks who are not forthcoming.
Is there a person you're talking about?
I'm asking you a very direct question, yes or no?
When you think about her in a debate with Donald Trump, what is it that you would expect?
My kids to be on the couch, like obsessed.
You know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
One of her childhood friends, recalling their early years together, said, you know, Kamala's just been ready for this moment her whole life. Even as a little kid, she just got out there and she would handle business.
So the one thing about Kamala, she's consistent. She's the same person now as she was then. We got along great, you know. We were together all the time. Let me take you back to kindergarten. There was a boy that had taken something I created. I can't remember if we were doing like clay things or baking something or what have you, and took mine and messed it up, like threw it down, broke it. And so she stood up to him, took up for me. And as a result, he picked up either a rock or a brick and, you know, hit her. And her mom had to come from work. She had to go to the hospital and get stitches, you know, on and on. She's always been one that will stand up for what she thinks is right.
I feel a sense of responsibility to stand up and fight for the best of who we are. And I'm prepared to fight, and I know how to fight.
I love this one too. So this was 1988. This is Kamala here, her mom Shamala, her sister Maya.
So Kamala was born in Oakland, but really was a child of Berkeley. She and her sister Maya were raised primarily by their mother, Shamala, who was a single mom after she separated from her husband, Donald Harris. And her mother, even though she was from India, felt that living in Berkeley, it was really important to raise Maya and Kamala as strong, powerful Black women. Kamala went to Howard University. That was where she really developed like a real sense of herself and her own power.
Howard taught me, and it has taught you. You can do anything, and you can do everything.
Okay, so if you've made it through that and gotten to this part, kudos to you. Let's talk about some things Miss Harris actually represents. That buyout was it told me nothing. But these are some things that will tell you about her character. It's interesting because progressives urged her to embrace criminal justice reform when she was a DA, and then the state's attorney general, and she always opposed them, always. In 2010, she was criticized for withholding information about a police laboratory technician who was accused of intentionally sabotaging her work and stealing drugs from the lab. After a memo surfaced showing that Kamala's deputies knew about the technician's wrongdoing and recent conviction, but failed to alert defense lawyers, a judge had condemned Mrs. Harris' indifference to the systemic violation of the defendant's constitutional rights. But wait, there's more. In 2014, she had declined to take a position on Proposition 47, a ballot initiative approved by voters that reduced certain low-level felonies to misdemeanors. Get this. She then laughed a year, that same year, when a reporter asked if she would support the legalization of marijuana for recreational use. And the person she was going against during that time was a Republican, and he was in support of legalizing marijuana. Plot twist, right? She didn't finally come around to being in support of legalized marijuana until as late as 2018, right? When the opinion had shifted on that topic. How convenient. In 2015, she opposed a bill requiring her office to investigate shootings involving officers, and she refused to support statewide standards regulating the use of body cams on police officers. And she did incur a lot of criticism from mostly left-leaning reformers. And that, I mean, from anywhere from Democratic state senators, the ACLU, elected public defenders. I think it was Felicia Jones. She actually had asked Kamala how many more people need to die before she steps in. So I can't ever fathom how you could be against body cams on police officers. It just makes sense. If you're against that, you have your head up your rear. But I think the most atrocious thing about Kamala Harris is her wrongful conviction cases. I'm not going to get into all of them because there's a long list. But one was George Gage, and he was an electrician. He had no criminal record, and he was charged in 1999 with sexually abusing his stepdaughter. And the stepdaughter had reported the allegations years later. In the case, I mean, there was no, evidence. The case, everything hinged on, the stepdaughter's testimony. And at the end of the day, he was convicted. Later on, a judge discovered that the prosecutor had unlawfully held back potential evidence, including medical reports indicating that the stepdaughter had been repeatedly untruthful with law enforcement. Straight up lied. And then her mother even came out against the daughter and, said that the daughter is a pathological liar. The case went on, and in 2015, it reached the United States Court of Appeals, and Miss Kamala Harris defended the conviction. And they pointed out that Mr. Gage, while he was forced to act on his own lawyer, he had not properly raised the legal issues in court as the law required. To make a long story short, the appeal judges wanted Mrs. Kamala Harris to dismiss the case, and she refused. And the court upheld the conviction on a technicality, and Gage is still in prison to this day, serving a 70-year sentence. But that's not it. I had spoke on another one, Daniel Larson, in one of my other videos. It's funny how Kamala keeps popping up. But Daniel Larson, he's in prison doing 28 to life for possession of a concealed weapon, even though his trial lawyer was incompetent, and there was a plethora of evidence of his innocence. Once again, relying on the technicality, Kamala Harris argued that Mr. Larson, just like in the other case with Mr. Gage, failed to raise his legal arguments in a timely manner. So she wanted to keep him in there. This time they didn't allow it, and he is released. They did end up releasing him, but she tried her damnedest to keep him in. Yeah, that's just some of it. She was also for the 3 strikes law, things along those lines. Her record's atrocious. She's a corporate bought Democrat. However, she knows how to play the game. And when CNN drops biops like they just did, people eat that up. People fall for it. I have family members that fall for stuff like that. And you really have to look at these politicians' records and see what they stood for before you make that vote. That's all I ask. And CNN, we see you. You're not low. We see what you're up to. Interesting choice of candidate. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. And if you didn't like it, comment. Tell me what issues you have. I'm always open for some conversation and some debate. So until next time, have a good one, guys. Peace.